Of all the companies to dominate the headlines in gaming history, none strike fear into the hearts of us quite like EA. Or rather, none have had such an auspicious beginning, gargantuan burst of success and cultural embrace, only to live so long they became the villain. Many will remember a time when
EA Sports, it's in the game,
was a catchphrase said with smiles and fondness towards their many sports franchises. We remember when the company's higher-ups put huge amounts of cash into various movie-level video games like James Bond Everything or Nothing or The Simpsons game. We even remember phenomenal tie-ins like the Lord of the Rings games, and that's not to mention franchises like Medal of Honor, Burnout and SSX that were easily some of the most played and cherished in their respective times. Yes, they've had one hell of a run since 1982, and whilst the EA of today are a dark, ugly shell of their former selves, they've got some mighty big skeletons in their loot box comprising closet to pick out. I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 things EA wants you to forget. Number 10, making employees work 100+ hour weeks. Back in 2004, Erin Hoffman, the partner of an EA employee, took to writing a blog entitled EA Spouse to get the word out as to how ridiculous and demanding the working conditions at her significant other's studio were. She revealed that employees were being asked to work 9 a.m. until 10 p.m., 7 days a week with occasional Saturdays off for good behavior, though this latter reward only kicked in after 6:30 at night. This was alongside additional unpaid overtime if any deadlines or project goals required it. Needless to say, it all blew up considerably, forcing EA into a class action lawsuit where the result was to make drastic amendments to how they handled employees' rights. As a side note, the games industry features some of the most hardworking and doggedly resilient creative minds on the planet. EA's past errors were pointed out, but I guarantee there are many other people constantly working under unreasonable constraints. Number 9, staging fake religious protests to promote Dante's Inferno. Rather than, showing more trailers, EA decided they wanted to market Dante's Inferno with 9 months of hell, where each month would be themed around a different topic. In amongst this was EA hiring a number of actors to stage a fake religious protest at E3, including the brilliant slogan, "Trade in your PlayStation for a PrayStation," attempting to start a media fire around the game being boycotted. This drew the ire of many religious groups who claimed they were being pigeonholed into an unfair stereotype of, and I quote, priggish, thin-skinned fun killers. Number 8, that Battlefield 4 never became fully playable. There's buggy, there's Ubisoft in 2014 buggy, and then there's Battlefield 4 level buggy. Because man, it comes to something when your game, even post-launch and after multiple patches, can't let one multiplayer match go by without a full crash back to die. Battlefield 4's list of failures felt endless, from sped-up fire rates on weapons breaking matches to falling through the map, certain environmental animations freezing people in place to character models stretching and warping out of control. EA even set up a tracker on their website where issues posted would be assigned a status from investigating to fixing, though after months of attempts to get everything running smoothly, they inevitably had to move on. It took another class action lawsuit to get DICE and EA to apologize for the state of the game, delaying the DLC until at least the most crippling bugs were fixed, but this did little to save the product overall. Number 7, playing as the Taliban in Medal of Honor 2010. Rebooting Medal of Honor was a perfect idea on paper. I mean, look, someone had to go up against Call of Duty before Battlefield came back, but 2010's installment felt bad to control and included the rather problematic, sound the warning sirens, idea of playing as the Taliban in multiplayer. EA defended this by saying that someone's got to be the Taliban, in reference to how cops need robbers, and literally, this is a quote, someone's got to be the pirate and someone's got to be the alien. I mean, what kind of childhood games were they playing? And it only took a few weeks of pressure put on EA before they swapped out the Taliban faction and replaced it with opposing force, because that's more friendly, I guess? Number 6, butchering Dungeon Keeper and forcing fake user scores. Once a beloved real-time strategy where looking after your humble demonic abode was fun and characterful, EA took all of Dungeon Keeper's iconography and injected it with microtransactions and timers. Want to play the game without waiting hours for things to unlock? Just cough up the cash. They even retrofitted the game's mascot to taunt you with all sorts of options at regular intervals, all to stimulate your buying habits. That wasn't all either. Dungeon Keeper Mobile had a handy way of maintaining a positive user score, in that it would only register ratings of 5 stars, with anything lower sending out an email to the user's account instead. Want to get that to go away? Well, just rate the game highly and it would. And don't forget to have your credit card handy so you can order more gems. Number 5, shutting down Visceral and killing Dead Space. Visceral's closure was no one person's fault, but EA constantly undercutting creativity to mine the bottom dollar didn't help. The following extract comes from an unknown source inside Visceral, in regards to creative lead Amy Hennig's regular pitches to the top brass, courtesy of Kotaku's expose. She was giving these massive presentations on the story and themes, only for EA to be like,
FIFA Ultimate Team makes $1 billion a year. Where's your version of that?
And look, it's this exact mentality that scuppers any line of artistic thought, hammering home the reality of how EA started to see everything in a way that wasn't another Ultimate Team. Number 4, Spore's DRM disaster. Said to be a game all about creation, from first noises to walking, talking creatures, Spore was the No Man's Sky of the late 2000s. Although it would fall apart at the seams in regards to enjoyable gameplay and a worthwhile look at an entire ecosystem in motion, Spore was doomed before launch by controversy surrounding digital rights management, or DRM. See, EA implemented a spectacularly limiting DRM policy that meant copies of the game could only be activated on up to 3 PCs, limiting the ability to trade or even trust that the copy you were buying secondhand would work. EA only doubled down on defending the practice, seeing 1.7 million prospective buyers torrent the game instead, making a sizable dent in the game's sales that, combined with all the DRM backlash, ensured that Spore never even evolved to the ability of standing on its own 2 feet. Number 3, all the iconic beloved studios they've bought and killed. Many beloved studios were bought up and given the opportunity of a lifetime to work alongside EA, with the latter in a publishing capacity, only for the life to get choked out of them when financial whims got in the way. Let's run down a few of the biggest ones. There's Pandemic, who brought you Star Wars Battlefront, Full Spectrum Warrior, and Mercenaries. There's Bullfrog, who gave us Theme Hospital, Dungeon Keeper, and Theme Park. There's NUFX. Okay, to be honest, they only brought us NBA Street, but goddamn NBA Street 1 and 2 were absolutely bloody brilliant. Then there's Visceral, who gave us Dead Space, various James Bond games, and The Godfather. And lastly, Black Box, who did Need for Speed and Skate. Now, there are many more, and a handful of these IPs still have some traction, but the fact remains that EA's acquisition department operates like a spoiled child, picking up various shiny toys at once, smashing them together for a bit, and then not knowing what to do with them afterwards. Need for Speed has been rebooted twice just this past decade, and Battlefront has nowhere near the level of love and admiration the Pandemic originals inspired. Then there's Dead Space, which is likely never even coming back. For BioWare, it's only a matter of time. Number 2, they've wasted the first 5 years of their Star Wars exclusivity deal. Let's not beat around the holographic bush. There have been 0 truly great Star Wars titles since EA acquired the exclusive rights to develop games based on the franchise. This deal was initially penned back in 2013 and, well, I mean, look, just try and name one genuinely phenomenal Star Wars video game. I'll wait. Both Battlefronts have been all style and no substance, with Battlefront 2 in particular being the center of one of 2017's biggest controversies. EA's various mobile games are perhaps fun for a hot minute until you realize you're being suckered in by pay-to-reduce timers and multiple currencies. Then there's the fact that a company as big as EA, with past movie franchise games that are brilliant under its belt, have only made 2 console Star Wars games. It's kind of a joke. And it's no wonder there are rumors that Disney are looking into renegotiating this exclusive deal to allow other developers to take the reins. And number 1, being labeled the worst company in America twice. EA don't do things by half, as not only did they rocket to the top of the worst company in America polls back in 2012 following the god-awful ending of Mass Effect 3 and their role in it, but it happened again in 2013. 2013 was the year EA published the complete walking disaster that was SimCity's reboot, a game that required a constant server connection to even play it single player. Dead Space 3 also dropped in this year, releasing rife with microtransactions, a Gears of War aping co-op mode, and a final fight against a sentient moon. Because video games. Amazingly, EA didn't nab the title again in 2017 despite Battlefront 2's notable hoo-ha, but then again, give them time, as we've barely seen what Anthem's going to be. And that's been my list. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything else that EA really want everybody else to forget. I've been Scott from ourculture.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you soon.
Wasn't that something? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe below, and also the people who made this lovely video, they're appearing right here. But if you're thinking to yourself, I want to see more content, Jules, then why not look above my head, as there probably is some. I don't know. I can't see it. Until next time.